Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I'm not camping outside a store for Black Friday or any Friday.
We're with Cat. That's why our Ace Black Friday sale lasts all day. Just print out our online coupon, bring it in, and save 50% on an item under $30.
Ace is the place with Black Friday offers all day. Go ahead and sleep in.
Print out our coupon at acehardware.com and stop by Ace this Friday for 50% off one regular priced item under $30. Offer valid on November 25th only at participating stores. Limit 1. Exclusions apply. See coupon.
Get to Bernie and Sid now. 800-848-WABC. Where New York comes to talk. 77 WABC.
Back on the Bernie and Sid show on 77 WABC. I got to tell you something, folks. We have an extraordinary guest. In his presence, we are dwarfed, Sid Rosenberg. It's Captain Ivan Castro. He is a decorated active duty Special Forces soldier. He's a Green Beret, for God's sakes. He serves with the 82nd 101st Airborne Division, as well as the Army Rangers, and with all elite units in the U.S. Army and world militarily. Captain Castro fought in Iraq back in 2007. He was injured and actually lost his sight in a rooftop in Iraq somewhere. Good morning, Captain Castro.
Good morning, Bernie. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, sir. How are you?
Awesome.
Listen, Captain Castro has a new book out. It's called Fighting Blind, a Green Beret story of extraordinary courage. And that it is. It's Ivan Castro and Jim DeFelice. It's a New York Times bestseller. Oh, he was the New York Times bestselling co-author of American Sniper was Jim DeFelice. He helped Captain Castro out. Fighting Blind, a Green Beret story of extraordinary courage. Captain Castro, so you were wounded in Iraq back in 2007, I believe it was.
2006.
2006, and you lost your eyesight.
You know, I hate to do this, but oftentimes it's such a horrible experience, and you hate to go back and relive it over and over again. Okay, but I guess for the purpose of really emphasizing Bernie's point and the book, if you can, I know it's probably painful, but if you can, take us back to that time, that moment when, in fact, you suffered the injury.
Yeah, absolutely. It was early in the morning. We had just occupied the night before a position that had been zeroed in by the enemy, by enemy mortars. And I was given the order to take up that position. And I knew it was a horrible position. It was a bad call from my leaders that morning.
Did you voice that? Did you say, guys, this is a bad idea?
Oh, yeah. The minute they told us we had to take up this position that night, I remember Sergeant Monday and we looked at each other as the order came over the radio, and we were shaking our hands saying, this is a bad idea.
What was that? What was going on there that you thought this was a bad spot?
We had occupied a thermal power plant, and we were looking for Al Qaeda. It was a haven of just horrible. It was a training camp, and the night before we had lost a section, a mortar section, and we had one KIA. Angel Mercado. And it was right at that corner where we were told that we had to occupy. So we occupied the position. The next morning, I knew I had to move my guys because we were totally exposed on top of a rooftop because we were a sniper section. I was the leader of a sniper section. And I had my guys on the rooftop. Early morning, I packed my bags, and my mission was to get out of there. So climbed up to the rooftop, and I told my guys to get off. And as I was scouting around, trying to find a better position where I could command the countryside, I saw a structure that would provide shade and cover. And right when I went to pick up the hand mic to call it in, a mortar round landed on the side of the building, and the next one landed square right beside me, about 5 feet to my left. And unfortunately, 2 of my men died. Private Justin Drees and Sergeant Ralph Poros, and was severely injured. But great, my men immediately jumped into action and pulled me off.
So, yes, Captain Ivan Castro, the author again of the book Fighting Blind, a Green Beret story of extraordinary courage, eventually is going to tell you the story of running the marathon, the Marine Corps marathon. However, in the meantime, you're grievously wounded in Iraq. They bring you back to a dilapidated Walter Reed Medical Center, which, by the way, I visited back around the time you were there with John McCain and Mr. Imus, and dilapidated it was. The conditions there were absolutely horrible for veterans. But you were there, and you became depressed. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was in Walter Reed for just a short period of time, and due to my injuries, they had to move me over to Bethesda Naval Medical Center. And I've got to say, it's a team effort from my guys all the way to the medevac crew and the flight medics and everybody. But when you're told you're blind for the rest of your life, you just words can't explain. You enter depression, sadness, survivor's guilt, anger, and you question yourself and you question your faith. But I quickly realized that life goes on. I still had men deployed, and I still had a family that I had to provide for. So, I made that my goal. My first goal as a blind man was to run the Marine Corps Marathon, and it took me a whole year. But I tell you what, if you pick up the book, you'll find all the details in it, that's for sure.
Wow.
How many miles is that marathon?
Marathon is 26.2.
Well, right. So it is a 26.2
It
mile.
is 26.2,
Okay. Gotcha.
yeah.
So I would imagine, I'm amazed by people like you that go through these life-changing injuries. But when you're laying there and you find out you're going to be blind the rest of your life, and certainly I would be depressed too, but when you think back to the guys that were next to you on that building who would probably gladly take that than the deal that they got, that's got to make you say to yourself, hey, you know what, this sucks, but certainly a lot better than the guys who were standing right next to me.
Yeah. It's amazing when you walk down the ward of any military hospital, and at the time it was at the height, 5 East, there were a number of severe polytrauma injuries going on. And you see families that are just searching and praying for hope, for their loved ones. And, I quickly realized that although I was blind, there was more to life, and I wasn't about to give up. And I still had my arms and my legs. I was severely injured. I had an open bone fracture of the humerus, torn deltoid, injured, ulnar and medium nerve. My finger was amputated. Broken nose, broken cheekbone, collapsed lungs, bilateral vertebral artery, and pulmonary embolism. So, and my body was just pieces.
So, Captain Ivan Castro, the book is Fighting Blind, a Green Beret's Story of Extraordinary Courage. Fighting Blind. Captain Ivan Castro, and by the way, we know you have a great sense of humor because you came in here and you were making us laugh. Right. So when Sid just asked you how long the marathon was, what ran through your head?
Right.
You were like, well, how long do you think a marathon is, right?
Yeah, well, I wasn't quite sure if he was thinking maybe an ultra marathon, which I've done a couple of those.
No, I've no excuse. My wife has run 14.
Right,
he
knows it's,
yeah.
it's
I was
26
we were just at the New York Marathon, but for some reason I thought it was, I don't know, a marathon. You're right.
We're in awe of your presence right now.
26.2. I've only done about 60 or so.
Have you really? Wow.
Yeah.
And now listen, your wife was a major factor in motivating you out of your funks, if I may use that word, out of your depression, I should say. So she got you into wanting to improve your life. You were suicidal, but she turned it all around for you, right?
Yeah, she did. She explained, she visualized what was going on when I would go down the ward. Unfortunately, she's no longer part of the team, and I have a new wife and a baby,
God bless.
which is the eyes of my light, and my 5-year-old is what fuels me every day to get up and continue to drive, and I have a 23-year-old also.
You were still an active member of the military, and among other things, I want to get it all in here. You cycled across America. You participated in what's called the Invictus Games. Wow. You trekked across Antarctica with Britain's Prince Harry. This is Captain Ivan Castro. He's a decorated Special Forces soldier. His book is Fighting Blind, a Green Beret Story of Extraordinary Courage. Man, I can't wait to read this book. We only became acquainted with you in this book about 2 days ago.
That was it. Yeah.
So forgive us for not reading it. But
we will.
Which of all of those things would you like to expound on?
Well, first of all, before we forget, things in the future is you touched on the South Pole, but 2018 I got my sight set on the North Pole.
Nice.
So
Really?
this time I'm hoping to take up there some other injured Special Forces guys. But the South Pole was quite an experience.
With Prince Harry.
With Prince Harry and 11 other injured guys. And wow, man, that was tough. That was tough and cold. And I don't know if you know, I grew up in the beautiful island of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, mira que pasa, papi.
Yeah, that's right. Es verdad. So, we don't have snow in Puerto Rico. I don't know if you know that.
No.
And I didn't know how to ski. So it was quite a challenge to do this, and it was an unsupported trip. So yeah, and Prince Harry's such an amazing guy, and I'm running Boston and London this next April.
Yeah.
No kidding.
On a campaign called
That's like
Heads
a week
Together.
apart, by the way, because Danielle's
It
running
is.
Boston this year. London's the next week.
Yeah, it is. It is. So we're running
52
Boston.
miles. Wow.
Yeah.
You're
Too
a
easy. Too easy.
star. Look
Too
at you.
easy.
You're a star.
Too easy.
So, look, so now that you're doing all these great things and serving as an inspiration, which you are, not to get too political, but we just went through a presidential election with Donald Trump, obviously, as the president. Yeah. And all we heard about was how it's a shambles. Our military's in shambles. It's a disaster. It's got to be rebuilt. We're not putting boots on. How do you feel about where the military is now, about maybe putting boots on the ground someday to really eradicate ISIS? What are your thoughts on all those situations?
I don't know if you know this, that I'm still on active duty.
You are?
I am.
Okay.
So I'm still a
Yes.
man in uniform.
Good man.
And
So
as
mum's the word.
a man in uniform, we support totally our commander-in-chief.
Donald
well
Trump.
said. Well said.
Yeah. And so, we don't pick and choose our battles.
Right. Understood.
We are sent to fight them. And mostly in the last years and ever since known to man, we fight for the men or women that's beside us. And as a leader, your mission is to accomplish the mission and take care of your men.
Sure.
And regardless of whatever the mission
Right.
that is given to our military, we are going to do it 100%.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
But when you guys are by yourselves up there, you're going, come on, what the hell are we doing here? Let's go. We're going to win this thing. But what are we doing here? You've had those conversations, I'm sure. Maybe not you, but somebody has, right?
Listen, Captain Ivan, you said enough on the top. Don't let this guy get you.
That's a good-looking smile, by the way.
I'll tell you what.
He's got a great smile.
Let me
This
just say,
kid.
he is a stud. Captain Castro is a stud. He's an active military guy. He's running marathons left and right. Look at you.
Once again, we are going to accomplish the mission, no matter what.
That's right.
No matter who's
Sid.
the president, we are going to accomplish the mission. But we always look to the future, and whatever the mission is, we're going to get it done.
The eternal optimist. Captain Ivan Castro, listen, we are out of time. The book is Fighting Blind, a Green Beret story of extraordinary courage. Folks, this man is as inspirational as he gets.
And DeFelice is a great writer, too, and, of course, American
Jim
Sniper.
DeFelice,
Chris
yes. He co-wrote the book with Captain Castro.
Great writer.
Yeah, he made it easy.
Yeah.
He made my eyes not tear but sweat.
Wow.
Writing his book.
Well, I tell you what,
nice.
I have goosebumps is all
That's
I can tell
nice,
you right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, buddy.
So, Captain Castro, good luck to you, sir. And good luck in the marathons. Good luck with the book, Fighting Blind. And you're always welcome back here when the book comes out in paperback, or you want to plug it again in 3 weeks. Whatever you're doing, you're always welcome on the phone.
Thank you.
Or live in studio.
God bless you.
Thank you.
And you're welcome to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Whether you want to jump or shoot, we can make it happen.
Appreciate that. Captain Ivan Castro, the book Fighting Blind, a Green Beret story of extraordinary courage. Bernie and Sid back after this.
77 WABC. Traffic and Transit.
Diggs Hills, the Northern State Parkway eastbound at Wolf Hill Road, an accident in the left lane.